A faint wind, the creak of an old house. Every city has a place people whisper about, a place where stories fade into dust, and silence speaks louder than truth. Today's story begins in an old, forgotten house, a place locals call the Shadow House. But the deepest, darkest part of that house is a room inside it. The Shadow Room, a room that has been sealed for 35 years, and no one knows why. The story begins with Laribe, a 24-year-old girl who loved photography and history. She had just joined a city magazine, and her job was to explore old locations and uncover hidden stories. One day, she received an assignment: write a feature on the abandoned Shadow House. People warned her, "Don't go there. Strange noises come from that place. It's not safe, stay away." But her curiosity was stronger than fear. So she took her camera, a flashlight, and a notebook, and walked straight toward Shadow House. The house was ancient. Walls were crumbling. Wooden windows groaned as if they were in pain. A large neem tree stood outside, and the soil beneath it looked disturbed, as if something had been buried there recently. When Laribe pushed the door open, a burst of cold air rushed out. It smelled like old earth and forgotten memories. The strangest part was this: every room in the house was open, except one, the room known as the Shadow Room. The Shadow Room's door was unusual. It had no lock, no handle, yet somehow it remained shut. On the door were old markings, like the height measurements of a child. Umar, 8 years. Umar, 9 years. Umar, 10 years. But above all those marks, there was a faint line that said, "Last height," and after that, nothing, as if the last measurement had been erased on purpose. Laribe whispered to herself, "Who was this Umar? And why is this room sealed?" As she explored more of the house, things became stranger. A door would lightly tremble on its own. A soft whisper would echo from a corner. A window would suddenly slam shut. But the most terrifying thing happened at 3:11 a.m. Laribe was adjusting her camera when she heard a voice behind her. "Turn around." She froze, turned slowly. No one was there. But when she checked her camera recording, there was a shadow standing near the Shadow Room door. The next morning, Laribe met the old caretaker, Usker, a frail man who had once watched over the house 35 years ago. She asked him, "Uncle Usker, why is the Shadow Room shut?" His eyes darkened. He said quietly, "Child, that room isn't locked. It's kept locked." And then he told her the story. Years ago, a family lived in this house. Maz, his wife Huma, and their 10-year-old son Umar. Umar was intelligent, but stubborn. He often shut his room for hours. And then one night, strange things began happening. Umar screamed, "Mama, someone's inside." But when his parents rushed in, there was no one, just Umar, shivering in terror. A few days later, Umar told his parents, "Mama, someone calls me in the dark. He says he wants company. He tells me to come to his room, the Shadow Room." His parents dismissed it as imagination. But one night, Umar vanished. The entire house was searched. But when the Shadow Room door was pushed open with force, Umar was found lying unconscious on the floor, his hands covered in dirt, as if he had been digging for something beneath the ground. He whispered one terrifying sentence, "He's below. He was calling me." The caretaker continued. After that day, the house changed. Voices grew louder. Shadows moved. And then one day, Umar disappeared completely. People believed something was buried under the room, but no one ever confirmed it. Since that day, the Shadow Room was sealed forever. The family left the city, and the house has remained untouched for 35 years. Despite the terrifying story, Laribe returned to the house. She needed to complete her article, but when she arrived, the Shadow Room door was open. She walked inside slowly. The room was empty, except for one corner, where the ground looked swollen, as if something underneath was pushing upward. And then she heard a whisper right behind her. "You're just like him, full of curiosity." She turned to run, but the door slammed shut. The next morning, the caretaker found Laribe's bag outside the house. But Laribe was nowhere. All the police found was her camera. In the final recording, a small hand was seen emerging from the floor of the shadow room, and Larib screamed, "Let me go! I don't want to go down there." Then the screen went black. Larib was never found, and the shadow room was sealed once again. But now locals say, the room doesn't hold just Umar's spirit. It holds the spirit of a girl, Larib. The shadow house still stands. Inside it, the shadow room holds two souls, their stories trapped in silence. If you ever pass by it at night, and the wind grows a little stronger, you might hear a faint cry, "Let me out." Maybe it's Umar, or maybe Larib. If you love mysteries, don't forget to subscribe.